Hello world, welcome to the Taisley Respiratory Health playlist. This group of videos is designed to help you breathe better so that you can live a higher quality of life, enjoy this life more with your loved ones. So if you have recurring bronchitis, if you use an inhaler, if you just have trouble breathing, bad allergies, coughing up phlegm a lot of the time, just your breathing and your respiratory health is really dragging down. This playlist is for you. This particular video is going to focus on the air in your home. And specifically it's going to focus on the systems that you use to heat and cool your home. Whether you're using central heating and air conditioning or you're using something more that's much safer, much better for your respiratory health, split mini ductless system. So we're going to go through that. Hopefully you find this information useful. I apologize in advance for the very low production quality. What I want to do is get this information out to you as fast as possible. So I'm not going to spend a bunch of time in the editing room trying to reduce room echo and create a whole bunch of fancy imagery for you. What I'm going to do is try to give you the information as fast as possible so I don't waste your time at all, and try to just dump a bunch of good information on you to help you breathe better so you can live a better quality of life, so you can enjoy it more with your family. And remember, if you're constantly hacking, if you're having a hard time breathing, if you can't enjoy the outdoors, if you're sick all the time, that's going to mess with your state of mind. It's going to put you in a poor state of mind. You're not going to be able to enjoy this reality, this life, nearly as much. So let's get, if you're having problems with your breathing, respiratory system, let's target that, and hopefully this information can help put you in a better state of mind. So today, this video, we're going to focus on the air in your home and the systems that you use to heat and cool it. The central heating and air conditioning versus split mini ductless. Quick disclaimer, no one's paid me to promote any systems. I haven't been compensated in any way by any ductless split mini systems, but I'm going to focus on that because those systems have really helped me improve my quality of life and dramatically changed my breathing quality. Real quick, before I get into the specifics, just to give you a little bit of background, up until about the age of 40-45, I had really bad breathing issues. I carried around inhalers for most of my life. Ventolin was one of, they have new ones now, but those inhalers always came with consequences, whether it made me anxious. You always have to remember them. You always have to clean them, or else you're spraying. If you throw your inhaler in a bag, you don't put the cover on it, it can get bacteria, so you're spraying bacteria down your throat. It's just being strapped to that inhaler, and then you'll be out somewhere and find yourself enjoying yourself, maybe exercising a little bit, but you start to feel a little bit of wheezing, and then you look for your inhaler and you realize you forgot it home and you panic. Yeah, that just sucks. So let's see if we can get you off inhalers completely. I don't know if this information can, but hopefully it's worthwhile for you to investigate. So yeah, I used inhalers for most of my life. I finally got off of them about 9 or so years ago. And the biggest thing that I did to get myself off inhalers and improve my respiratory health is better manage the air quality in my home. Because that's where I was sleeping at night. And I noticed that even though I had bad allergies, when I was outside a lot of times my breathing would be better, which didn't seem to make sense with all the grass and pollen allergens. I'm allergic to over 15 environmental allergens. I'm allergic to over 15 food allergies. I'm allergic to seeds, nuts, corn, soy, any kind of grass or grass pollen, tree bark. So the list goes on and on. So I got hit super hard. I've had pneumonia 4 times in my life. I've had bronchitis, reoccurring bronchitis, at least 2 to 3 times a year for about 15 years. And the biggest source of all those problems was the air quality in my home, which it took me years and years to discover that. So we're going to focus on that now. I'm going to try to throw a bunch of information at you as fast as possible. Again, sorry about the very low production quality and the sound quality, but I want to get this information out to you quick. Here we go. Okay, so rather than give you a whole bunch of background information first and explain everything, what I want to do to save you time, if you just want to get to the answers, is to give you the solution that's helped me dramatically change my life. Again, I'm not being paid or compensated by any company to do this. I just want to pass along something that's been pure gold for improving my respiratory health and my state of mind. This is it. This is what's called the indoor unit of what's called a split mini system. It's a ductless split mini system. So how this system works is it sucks air in from the top of there, and then inside, behind here, the system conditions the air. It'll either make it cooler for summertime, or it'll make it warmer for winter. And then you can see there's coils, hopefully, maybe you can see, there's coils behind these filters. These filters just pop out. They're just very simple filters. And they need to be cleaned. You can see there's dust on them. Now, just real quick, what I want to point out is, to clean this system, the majority of the time, you just pull these filters out and you can spray them off. You can clean it once a week. Now imagine if you have a central heating and air conditioning system that has ductwork running all under the floors, in the attic. What it's going to take to clean that system, right? So this is a split mini system. This is the indoor unit. It sucks air in from the top, goes through these filters. These coils, they'll either get real cold in the summer if you're trying to cool it down, and it sucks the air through that makes it cooler. And then there's a blower wheel that spins and it blows the air out. So here's how the system works. It takes air from the top and it just blows it out into this small space. It's not pumping air through any ductwork. So to clean the system, you bring out these filters, go in the shower, spray them off, maybe spray a very light bleach solution on them if you want to ensure there's no mold growing on them. About once a season, I have to, there's a blower wheel in there, and I'll show you that. I have to clean that as well. And that's a bit of a pain. That's about a 2 to 3 hour job. The total cost for cleaning and maintaining these systems, not counting the electricity to run them, is about $1 to $5 every season. It's very low. Now contrast that with what it costs to maintain your central heating and your duct work and your central heating and air conditioning system. So this is the solution that I want to show you. This is the answer. It's a split mini system, ductless. It's very simple. This system is about 300% cheaper to run than my old central heating and air conditioning that had ductwork. So it's much cheaper to run. It's more efficient. I have these in multiple rooms, so you can condition different parts of the house differently, and you can save a ton of money just because you're not paying to heat or cool the whole home. You can just do it selectively. So now I want to get into the background information about these systems and the central heating and air conditioning systems. Compare and contrast them and explain to you why this one has the potential to be so much better for your respiratory health as long as you maintain it. It's a great system, and again, don't even pay attention to the name on there. So the cost of these systems is, this one was definitely under $1,500, right about $1,500. So that gets you the system, and you can go get them online. You can go into any of the big box hardware stores and get them. They're really inexpensive, especially relative to a central heating and air conditioning system. And you can install these yourself. They're not too hard to install, which I'll go over later briefly. But you can Google that. There's a bunch of great videos on people showing you how to install these. They're not that hard. And if you don't feel comfortable drilling holes in your house and or hooking up 220 electric boxes, don't worry about it. You can hire someone pretty inexpensively as well. Be careful. Be very careful about who you hire with these. Make sure you do your research and get someone that's trusted, because someone may want to rip you off and charge you $4 grand to install one of these, which is ridiculous. Honestly, it took me a total of about 9 hours, I think, by myself, and I don't do this for a profession. I'm not a carpenter or electrical engineer. I don't have any HVAC certifications. But it took me about a total of 9 hours, and I took a long weekend to do it. So I didn't rush myself, and I spent the time, and I got the tools. Total to get this installed, cost-wise, was probably about $2,000, maybe a little bit less. You got to get some tools to do it. Now contrast that with, you're going to replace your central heating and air conditioning system. You're probably talking about a minimum of $8,000. Or let's say you just want to clean the ductwork in your central heating and air conditioning system. That's going to be about probably a minimum of $3,000 to $4,000, going all the way up to like $8,000. So these, they're so much more efficient energy-wise, cost-wise, and for me, it's dramatically changed. They dramatically changed my life, improved my respiratory system, got me off inhalers. I don't wake up every morning coughing up like a bucket of phlegm. I'm not worn down I don't wake up in the morning feeling worn down because my respiratory system is just getting hammered by all the mold, the bacteria, and all the dust that's built up in my central heating and air conditioning ductwork, because I got rid of that. All right, so let's get to some background. What I want to show you now is contrast this where the air goes in through the top, comes out here. That's how much the air travels to condition it. Now I want to contrast that with the central heating and air conditioning system, just to give you guys an idea how it's different. So this is part of the old central heating and air conditioning system in my home. It's still here because I just haven't sheetrocked over, removed this and sheetrocked over it and done something. I could put a shelf, I could cut this out and put a shelf in here if I wanted a built-in shelf. So that's something you want to consider is, if you do move away from a central heating and air conditioning system, you're going to have these things still in your home. You could leave them there, which I did, and I sealed them up. Or you can like get creative and you can actually cut this out and there's space behind there, you could put built-in shelves. Anyways, this is a vent for the central heating and air conditioning system. That this is where air gets sucked in from your home. It goes into this system and then it goes down into a machine that conditions the air. So unlike that split mini system that I showed you earlier, where the air gets pulled in and it gets conditioned right where it's pulled in it from, and then it gets blown out right after it's conditioned. So all that's compressed, where the air gets pulled in, where it gets conditioned, and where it gets blown out of, all that is compressed into a space about this big. The central heating and air conditioning system, this is just one of the vents that sucks it in. There's another one up in the ceiling behind the camera. But this is where air gets sucked into the system, and below that is a machine that conditions it. And it's about 3 feet below this, and that's where the air either gets heated up or cooled down. And from there, it blows that conditioned air through ductwork that goes all throughout the house. And you probably already know, but I'll show you the vents. So behind these, you'll find one of these. These you just lower down. This is a filter, and you can go at your big box stores, and these filters, they come in a variety of different kinds. The more expensive ones, more expensive filters, they're hypoallergenic, they claim to be, and all that kind of stuff, and they stop all these particles. So that's how this system works. It sucks air through, usually have about at least two different places that it sucks it in from. And then it goes to a machine that's a few to several feet away, and it conditions that air. Then it blows that conditioned air like tens of feet, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 or more feet through ductwork. So that's how these systems work. And before that filter in your home gets sucked into that, before the air in your home gets sucked in, it goes through these filters. Now the thing is you may think you can count on these filters to filter out all the debris that's in the air that's getting sucked into the system. I can promise you that it won't. Not to mention, you're going to have to replace these filters every, 3 weeks to 3 months. Who knows how much dirt and allergens is going to be accumulating. my experience is these things do very little to filter out the mold spores, mold, dirt, allergens. They just don't do it. It didn't do it for me, certainly. And everyone I've talked to, if it did filter out all that stuff, then why would people have to pay thousands of dollars to have their ductwork cleaned? Right, it's just not a great system. So these filters, no matter what kind you get, the more expensive one, hypoallergenic, it's not going to filter out all the allergens, all the dirt. Let's say you don't vacuum your house for a couple weeks, or you leave the doors or windows open in the spring and pollen's coming in through the windows. Let's say you have, I normally keep my my laundry basket here. What happens if you have some towels, some towels that are still moist, and you throw them in the laundry basket? Let's say you get caught up in life and you forget to do laundry for a week. And let's say those towels, they start growing mold. Then you have mold growing right next to the place where the air is getting sucked in to your heating and air conditioning system. And that mold and those mold spores, they're going to find places in that ductwork to call home. And once those mold spores find a place in your ductwork to call home, and it's not a hard place to find because your ductwork is going to be just filled with dust, more than likely, and those mold spores are going to bind to that dust, and that's going to be a nutrient source, and they're going to make more mold and more mold, and the problem is going to get worse and worse and worse, not better, especially in the summer, because that's when you have a lot more moisture going through your central heating and air conditioning system. And even though in the winter it'll be less, you're probably not going to get rid of all of that mold and mold spores that are building up in your central heating and air conditioning system. So this is what I want to show you, where things get sucked in to your central heating and air conditioning system, and then they get piped in through ductwork throughout your home. So yeah, in terms of allergies, respiratory health, it's just a horrible system. So here's one of the vents in my home where air gets pushed back into the home through. So after the air is conditioned, it goes through ductwork that used to, I ripped it out, it went under the floor, and then it got pushed out through these vents right here. So mine, I sealed it up because I removed my central heating and air conditioning system. This is the wood floor, this is the subfloor, and this is a piece that I cut and made specifically to patch up here. So it completely seals it off, so there's not a hole going directly down into my crawl space and air's coming up through there. So it's completely sealed off. I use silicone to go around through all the joints and spaces to make sure that there's no airflow going either way. This is one of the things you got to consider if you're going to replace your central heating and air conditioning system with a split mini ductless system. You'll need to seal all these places where the ductwork came to and push it through these vents. So if you think that your system is not dirty, or if you think that the filter system is going to do a great job, so here's a challenge for you. Go to one of these vents where air gets piped out of to go back in your home. Get one of these bleach wipes, remove the vent, and then take your arm and stick it down as far as you can go in there, and then reach around and try to hit the size of the ductwork. So you want to reach down as far as you can and then slowly move your hand around, try to find the edges of the ductwork. You want to do it nice and slowly. Don't do it rapidly, because there might be some screws or something or sharp edges, and it'll get you. That stuff, it got me a couple times. So just make sure you do it nice and slow and carefully, and pull that out. So when I did it on mine, it was black. It was black, and I went around several times. I went to all the vents, and they were all black, and just mold, allergens, dust, you name it. That's when I knew, yeah, there's a huge problem. So this actually, I have to vacuum up that. That's kind of, but some things you need to consider. So that's where the air comes back into your home. If you're going to replace it, you got to seal that up. And if you want to test to see just how dirty your ductwork is and what air you're breathing, get a bleach wipe, stick your arm down in there and wipe around, try to find the edges of the ductwork, and just make sure you go really slow, because there could be some real sharp things in there that'll get you. Okay, back to the split minis. Once again, I just want to say this just to make it very, very clear. With these systems, unlike the central heating and air conditioning, there's no ductwork. Air gets pulled in from the top, it gets conditioned by these coils, and it blows it out right here. No ductwork. If you want to clean these systems, you simply pull out these filters. Very easy. You don't have to buy filters again and again and again. You just rinse these off. So it's much more efficient. It's much less costly, like at least 300% less costly to maintain. The one thing about these systems that I mentioned earlier is a bit of a pain. See if I can remove this. Inside here is a blower wheel. So inside these systems, hopefully you can see that there's a blower wheel. It's blue. About once every season, I have to spray that down, that blower wheel, with a light bleach solution, because over time dust and mold will accumulate on that. And you can see already in some areas there's a little bit of dust starting to accumulate. The way I know when it's time to clean it is I'll start sneezing, and just for no reason. If I start sneezing in my home now, I know there's something instantly wrong. So I start investigating immediately, and usually this is the first place I go to. I think, well, how long has it been since I cleaned these filters, and how long was the last time I cleaned the blower wheel? So the blower wheel, I have to clean about once every season. It's a pain in the butt. It takes about 2 hours, but it's well worth it. And the cost and the time to maintain that, much less than a ducted central heating and air conditioning system. So that's the pain in the butt with these systems, but it's worth it, and you can do it on your own, and you don't have to pay someone to come in and maintain the system. It's really easy to do yourself. Other parts of this system that I want to show you. So if you're a DIYer, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there. But this is the behind that system. So this is where I just cut out a hole in my sheetrock. I could make it look prettier and more finished if I spent the time, but I just don't. There's basically 3 pipes. One's for heating, one's for cooling, and they go out here, and this is a hole that goes to the outside of my home. And I'll show you where that goes. And these, I just ran these pipes. They're easy to bend, and then connected into the indoor unit. For air conditioning in the summer, air condenses and then creates vapor, and the water drains out here and it goes out the laundry system. So no need to like drill a hole in the floor to go outside. I was able to just route this to what my laundry system uses, and take it outside, or take it to the pipe, the plumbing. This is the outside unit. So this is the machine that helps the indoor unit condition the air and heat the air. So this is what's called a heat pump. This is 220 that I installed myself. Not that hard to do. The electric box is right behind that, so that was very easy to do. And these are those pipes coming out here and connecting to the system. So that's it. No ductwork. Pretty simple, pretty easy to install, to clean, to maintain. So this system has been what's had the greatest positive effect on my respiratory health. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you about a ductless split mini system for improving your air quality, your quality of life, the air that you breathe inside your home, better managing the air inside your home using a ductless split mini system, and getting away from a central heating and air conditioning system. Something that I forgot to mention was that one of my dogs also had really bad coughing, and over the course of 2 years it got progressively worse and worse. When I did the research, a lot of the research suggested it could be some kind of heart condition, something going on with their heart. Well, I spent, and not to mention both my dogs, they're itching. They seem to have more allergy-related symptoms like coughing, hacking up stuff, and scratching and itching problems. Just got worse and worse. As soon as I replaced my ductless, as soon as I replaced my central heating and air conditioning system, the ducted system, with a split mini ductless system, all of our coughing, all of our respiratory issues vanished. Almost all of their itching, scratching and itching issues vanished. They still had some for sure. They roll around the grass, they swim in lakes. So yeah, they didn't get rid of all the itching. So conservatively speaking, I would have to say getting rid of my central heating and air conditioning ducted system, replacing it with a split mini ductless system. If you factor in my medical bills, going to the doctor for sinus and chest infection, respiratory infections every year, cost on inhalers, not to mention one of my dogs had started coughing really bad, and it got worse over the course of about a year and a half. And so when I did the research, I thought it was might be some kind of heart condition. Spent about $3 grand doing all these kind of tests on her with the vet, and they put her on these pills that are supposed to help her breathe better. And so that's another cost, like getting these pills. Theophylline, I think is what it was called. The pills had bad side effects and made her anxious. It didn't improve her quality of life. It didn't get rid of her coughing completely for sure. As soon as I ripped out my ductwork in my central heating and air conditioning system, replaced it with a ductless split mini system, our respiratory systems, mine and my dogs, went away. So conservatively speaking, in dollars, US dollars, I saved at least $15,000 over the course of about 10 years. No questions asked, at least 15 grand. And that's not even factoring in the reduced costs of the reduced energy costs. So typically speaking, my energy costs ran anywhere from $200 to $400 peak in the summer to cool down this house, and that's just outrageous. Correction, $200 to $400 total electric bill. So once I put this split mini system in, so that's in the summer, once I put the split mini system in, now my electric bills are like anywhere from $100 to $200. So dramatic decrease in my energy bills. So that's it for this video. I hope you find it helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I can do a lot more of these videos and share the things that I've learned to help me have a better quality of life and to help have an optimal state of mind.